Hey guys, how's it going? Today's topic is how to find a job with no experience. Let's go ahead and talk about it. First things first, after you fill out I'm going to assume you're a high schooler, and just for the sake of explaining this, you're a high schooler with no experience and you want to get started getting some work experience. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, this is what I would do if I had a time machine. I'd go back to the early 2000s, back when I was in high school. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and show my perspective as to what I'm going to do. Now, one of the things I want to go ahead and just mention is that first things first, you want to go ahead and look presentable. Clean, collared shirt. I know I talked about wearing a suit. If you can wear, even better. But wear a collared shirt that's nice, clean, wrinkle free. Your hair's well done. Facial hair is well done. You brush your teeth. And that's how you're going to look in the job interview. First things first, though, the first impression you're going to do is when you receive that phone call. you know of course we didn't have smartphones in the early 2000s, but just for the sake of, when I graduated high school in 2005, we didn't have these. But you want to have a case that's clean and presentable. This one's not that much, but you don't want to have something that's leopard print or anything, to the interview. First things first, though, I'm sorry, I don't mean to get carried off. The phone call, you want to sound assertive, confident, and that you're ready for an interview, right? You're gonna thank the person that called you. Okay, now that that's established, you're gonna go into the interview 15 minutes early. So if it's at 2 o'clock p.m., you're gonna be there at 1:45. I understand sometimes, you know, you can't be that early. Let's say 5 minutes, right? Let's just say 5 minutes early, right? You're still gonna look good if you show up 5 minutes early to an interview. 2 o'clock, that's cutting it too close. There's a lot of employers that are gonna say being on time is late, being early is on time. You want to kind of prevent that, right? Anyway, so you want to have your resume with you. Make sure it's not dog-eared, that it's flat. Bring a folder with you. Wear a watch. It shows that you care, that you're there for serious business. Now, these are skills that you probably already have, so let's go ahead and dive into this. Skills. So you're saying you have no skills. Did you get the perfect attendance award? If you did, mention it. If you get good grades, sure, you can mention that as well. But it's gonna look more impressive when you're going there every day without missing and on time. That's gonna look more impressive because you could hire somebody with skills, but if they're only there half the time, look good. That's not. It doesn't cut it in the professional world. One of the things I want to go ahead and mention is clear verbal and written communication. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Can you type? If it's a computer job, yes, you can. If it involves a keyboard, can you type? Yes, you can. These are things. See, these things are skills that you already have. Now, if they're particular to the job, let's say you're trying to get a job at a Verizon store, AT&T store, to, can you troubleshoot phones? Yes, you can. Can you send emails? Yes, you can. Can you? These are things that you could already do, believe it or not, especially if you're in high school. And the other thing is, are you a team player? So when you had projects in school, were you able to do well in them? Yes, of course you could. Now, when you were talking to your teachers to get a work assignment, to have a conversation, were you able to do that? Yes, you can. In this case, your boss. These things are things you can do. You already have these skills. The other thing on here, can you problem solve? Can you fix a customer's problem? Like I mentioned, if you're working IT, can you do something as simple as telling Mr. or Miss Customer, can you clear your browser? Can you do these kind of things? Yes, you can, right? And maybe if it's technical, can you do something very easy where you could fix it? Of course you can, right? These are skills that you've already acquired. Now, showing up on time, like I mentioned, coming in every day, and during the work, in the work environment, there's going to be a lot of changes. Can you adjust to those changes? Of course you can, right? When you went from all these grades, right, through the time you were in school, you made those adjustments, right? These are adjustments, right? Of course, elementary school is not the same as high school, but when you got to high school, you made those changes, right? The same thing here. No different. They're going to be learning things all the time. New things are going to be coming all the time. Companies change software all the time. And these things are things you can already do that you can adjust, right? You can learn new skills. And these are some of the things I just want to go ahead and mention. They might sound all, and I'm looking at the resume because I want to go ahead and make sure I'm not missing anything. Um, can you do math? You don't have to do algebra. Just simple addition and subtraction. And yes, you could use a calculator. You could use all the tools. That's another thing too. All the tools that you have at your disposal, can you use them? You want to convey that as well on your resume and in the interview as well. And let me go ahead and mention. I'm just going through these things. There's probably things like emails. Can you send them? Like I mentioned before. Can you use Microsoft Word? Can you use an Excel sheet? And I know these are just computer-related jobs that I'm mentioning. And of course there's going to be differences, right? Maybe you're not going to be going to a computer job. Maybe you're going to be, doing something manual. More, maybe an auto mechanic. Maybe you're going to be a welder. The different things, right? You're going to be going into. The little skills that you've already developed, can you bring those into the job? Of course you can, right? And so, like I mentioned, you're going to be in, another thing too. Sometimes the psychological aspects, you might get bummed out because things don't go well, you messed up somewhere. Can you self-motivate yourself to say, you know what, I didn't do well this time, but I'm going to get back up there. I'm going to fix that issue, and it's not going to happen again. And I'm going to take these steps to make sure it doesn't. So you can do these things. They sound very elementary, but believe it, there's a lot of people that can't do it. So I want to go ahead and just mention that. A lot of these things, of course, like I mentioned, there's going to be changes, right? But you want to go ahead and, read the job description. So the job that you're going to be going into, make sure, read it. If it says this skill is required, we need somebody for this, what skill do you already have that you could say, you know what, this fits perfectly into that job description. This little sentence that is describing this, I already have that where I could bring it here. Why not? And maybe you might say, well, you have that fear of rejection, but you know what? You're going to get rejected no matter what. It's life. That happens. Now, one of the things you want to go ahead and just make sure is that, that you got to handle, not get disappointed because, you're going to handle, you're going to be going through a lot of tough questions. And one of the sorry, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, guys, I gotta go ahead and go. But I want to go ahead and just mention that stuff. Have a good rest of your day and take care.